Good morning. It's January 13th, 2021. I'm getting ready for work. I'm putting my 2 weeks in today. A little nervous about that. Excited. A little sad. Yeah. So we basically gotten to the point in this business where it's unfeasible for it to continue and definitely for us to grow while both of us are working outside of the home. So it makes more sense for me to be the first person to quit so we can get everything streamlined and up and running, so when Nadine quits, it's just a plug and play into a full-time business. So I'm gonna go to work and tell them everything I just said to you, and then we'll talk about it later.
Hey you. Hey you.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm a little sad, I'm not gonna lie,
Why are you sad?
because I just saw some of those people for the last time.
What do you mean?
I just finished my last day of work.
Did you mean you quit to become a full-time entrepreneur?
Yes. So I'm excited, but a little sad. They got me beer though.
They got-
So I'm gonna have one of
That's
those
awesome.
later. And celebrate and cheers to them.
Well, maybe you can also stay in touch.
I will.
That's good.
Yes.
Congratulations. I'm proud of you. This is the first day of Monda's life that she's not going to report to anyone else but herself. And you!
No, I'm just kidding.
I couldn't be more proud. Did we just make a sale? No.
So,
Something's getting delivered. Awesome. Let's celebrate.
cheers.
Cheers. We're back with a big announcement. Welcome. My name is Nadine, my beautiful wife Melinda, and we're together. We're hustling hooks. That's what we are. It says it on the t-shirt.
Yes.
So,
That's right.
Melinda, what's going on?
The day has come, everybody. I have officially quit my job. Nadine is obviously very excited about this. I'm also excited too. As you saw in the previous clips, I'm also a little sad to be leaving the workplace, and we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to cover sort of our requirements of what we wanted in place before we quit to sort of give you an idea of maybe some things to think about before you quit your job.
For sure. So Melinda has been working part-time at a government position, and it's time for us. We got to the point where we are ready for the next few steps into growing this company. That's what it is, this resale business. And that requires labor hours. And we believe that first we need to maximize the amount of labor hours that we can contribute to the company before we start hiring, which is really, the next step, or maybe 3 steps from now.
Yeah, and if you guys have seen any of our videos that show our house, you know that this is a beast that has really just started to get out of control.
Mm-hmm.
We are at the level where it has just not been feasible to maintain and grow to the level that we want to be at with us both working. And that's essentially what it came down to. With me leaving this daytime position, the idea is that I'm still going to have a couple days with Jess, but my mom is still going to cover her and watch her during the days that I would normally be in the office. So that should be 2 or 3 days, eventually 3 days for sure every week. During that time, I'm strictly eBay. That's my 9 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever. Obviously, we're probably still going to be putting in some late nights here and there, but when you start adding things in, so we started this, then we grew it, and then we added YouTube, and we try to answer everybody on Instagram. And we're not even a huge channel, but a lot of that takes time. And we were finding that our whole life was revolving around eBay outside of work, essentially. So our hope is that we're going to get some more actual human time back.
Yeah.
And what do you mean? What we mean by that is maybe we don't have to be up till 2 a.m. every night trying to keep this going and generating a high level of income.
Right.
We can maybe stop at 8 or 9 or spend a night just relaxing and hanging out together and decompressing because I'll have more hours to put into the store.
Yeah, and it's we're not up every single night until 2 a.m., but the majority of the time, like if we haven't had a day off in a very long time. And obviously part of that is the pandemic and restriction to travel. The other part is that we're just very serious about growing this business. So it's definitely it's sacrifice, you know, and like she said, it's not like we're gonna never work a night shift again, but we're gonna reduce it and bring some sort of normalcy back to us. What are you looking for the most, I guess, out of doing this?
More thrifting, to be honest. I mean, I get to go out and find things every so often, you know, lunch hours here and there, sometimes on the weekends, but I don't really get to have the whole experience. A lot of what I do for this business is the stuff that nobody likes to do.
Sure.
And I don't mind doing it. I like doing it because it means we're going to put it up in the store and make money off of it. But I'm looking forward to building that into my schedule. But that is one thing that I did want to address is scheduling. It's one of the reasons why being your own boss and maybe doing this full time isn't right for everybody, because some people really do thrive on structure. And that's not a bad thing at all. I personally enjoyed having the structure of, okay, I'm going to wake up and put real clothes on today. I'm going to go someplace else, talk to adults, and I know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to punch in at 8. Noon is when I go to lunch, then I come back, 5 is when I leave, and I have set things that I'm doing, and that works well for me. So for me personally, it's going to be very important in finding a schedule, a flexible schedule that works so that I know what I need to get done in a day. And that might change week to week depending on what I'm processing and what we have, and obviously a lot of things because there's so many different varying factors day to day with a business that you're running yourself that is like this.
Yeah.
But it's going to take some tweaking. Tomorrow is Monday. It's going to be my first full day working on this. So it's going to be trial and error, I think. So vaguely in my head, I have an idea of one day we'll probably be committed to processing and photographing. I'm going to try to be listing every day and then thrifting a little bit every day as well. So we'll see how that works. And I'm sure there's going to be more videos as to how that's developing and how that's going. And then maybe someday I'll find a schedule that works really well for me and I can sort of document that.
Yeah, and I think you'll find what works best for you. That's the nice thing that I've always preached is that you have to take care of yourself first and then run the business. And I think this will just give you that flexibility to take care of yourself first, then take care of the business. And that's going to be a relief for me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, to touch on that a little bit. So I obviously gave birth to Jessica. And then we also gave birth to this company at the same time. And anyone who's started a business knows that having your own small business is basically like having another child. You have to put all your energy into it. So I mean, self-care for me personally, out the window. Jessica's about a year and a half now. And I have not committed myself to like the 30 minutes a day that I need to be putting in for myself and to putting aside time. So we converted like half of our bedroom into like a half gym. And I'm really looking forward to actually scheduling time for me that I need for me to focus on myself and put that work in, because you do have to take care of yourself and just getting back in shape and getting back to like a normal routine of working out. I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Regardless of what you're doing, it's your health has to be first. Then you can take care of others, like your family members and friends. Then you can take care of business. But without your health, then you can't do any of those things.
Yeah,
So
gonna get my hair cut.
Woo,
Looking
girl.
forward to that because I'm always watching Jess or I'm at work. Those are usually my options.
Right.
Working or Jess. So
I mean, I can cut it for you if you want.
no, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and hard pass on that one.
It's on the table.
Yeah, so a couple reasons why some people might not quit their job. This work is going to work for us, for our personal family situation,
Hmm.
and for our plans of where we want to grow our business. We're very ambitious in terms of where we want this business to go. So, if we were just normal people, we have an ideal situation. You know, Dean has a great job
Yeah.
that he doesn't have to put a lot of thought or hard work into. I mean, to be fair, that's
Yeah.
kind of what you say. It's an
Well,
important job,
it's
it's
because
a
I've been.
fluffy job.
I wouldn't say it's fluffy. I would say that it's because I've been doing it for almost 15 years. I'm not an expert at it, but I'm extremely good at it. So I don't go into work with a lot of stress, and my job is 90% mental, using my head, and 10% physical. So I don't have the physical strain of being a carpenter, and I don't have the mental strain of being a brain surgeon, right? So those are kind of the extremes. I'm right in the middle where, yeah, from time to time it can be a little bit stressful, but for the most part it's just not. And that's,
So he has so he has that job, and then I have a part-time job where I also get to spend time with my kid and raising her myself as her parent. I mean, that's sort of the ideal situation,
yeah,
right? We just have,
it's just not for us.
yeah, we just have bigger plans.
Yeah, it's just not for us. We want to make true impact on this world, and it's this isn't gonna cut it. This is great. This is a lot of people's like, holy
Yeah.
man, we did it. Got the house, got the cars, everything's paid off. Family's doing well. It's just not for us. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, we have a different vision. So let's talk about some reasons why being a full-time reseller business owner may not be right for everybody. And there's a lot of different variations here, more than what probably I will mention. But one is you get a lot of fulfillment from the job that you do. That could be any career. You really like doing hair and makeup, or you're a doctor, obviously, or a lawyer, or a marine biologist, or you're doing something that you're really passionate about and you love, regardless of what it pays, you enjoy your work.
Right.
Obviously, maybe eBay is a way, or any other side hustle, I should say, is a way for you to maybe bring in some extra cash to help pay down debt or bills or take a nice vacation every year. Another reason, and this was why it was so hard for me to leave, I mean, it was literally months of prodding and pushing to get to this point for me. I liked getting out of the house. I have a very young child that I love dearly, obviously, but it's a lot, right? So for me to get out of the house and go where there's other moms with kids Jessica's age and swap stories and talk to people, and also just have something that was just me, right? You know, nobody's putting any demands other than obviously doing my job there, but I ran pretty independently doing what I did at my job. So that was nice. That it was like almost a break for me to be able to do that. So that could be another reason. Maybe you just like having something unique that's for you to get away from and to go in.
Another reason why you might not would just want to quit right off the bat is that, if you're relatively new to this and you're very excited about it, you may want to just lower your excitement just slightly. Make sure you do it for a long period of time and make sure that it's something that's sustainable in your geographical location based off of the resources and knowledge that you have, and see if you really like it down the line, because life is expensive, from grocery bills, mortgages, etc., credit cards, student loans, so on and so forth. So it might be a good idea to do both for a long period of time until you minimize those expenses, and then it'll be easier for you to transition, because hey, self-insurance and so on and so on and so on is very expensive. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, so let's talk about our requirements of what we needed to have accomplished and set aside to be able to do this, right? For us to sort of walk out of employment by a company. And hope maybe this will help someone make the decision of whether it's right or not right for you at this time to be self-employed.
Yeah, and one day I might quit my job too. But until then, let's talk about what we did to achieve this transition. So number one, we paid off all of our debt. All of it. There's no student loans, no mortgage, nothing. There's no debt. And we set aside X amount of dollars in our bank account that we're comfortable with, so that in case of emergency, we can live X amount of time. Now, that you have to figure out yourself, if you want to save for 3 months, 6 months, a year, as far as having enough to cover all your expenses or not. But that was a huge requirement for us.
Right. So, depending on what you're doing and your level of hatred for the position that you're in, and the strain on your body or your
Stress.
mental health,
Yeah.
a lot of those are going to be considerations that are very specific to each individual. But if you're in a job that maybe you don't really want to do it forever, you wish you didn't have to work, but you don't mind it so much, and you can say, oh, but I like this of it, then I would strongly recommend staying with that job and doing what we did, putting a
Hmm.
lot of energy into it part time. For a couple different reasons. One, it's going to be a stronger business to walk into with a higher level of income if you're putting that much effort into it part time. And you can just use the money that you're getting from your side hustle and throw it on your debt.
Hmm.
I personally would have felt very uncomfortable leaving my job and depending on a business that has its ups and downs and not being able to plan on what I can put towards a car payment, a house payment,
Right.
all of that stuff. That would be extra stress for me personally.
Hmm.
So make a budget, right? You're not going to know when you can quit your job unless you have a budget for your family finances. That is the number one thing, because you have to learn and you have to know what you can live with, what is going to pay your mortgage, your car payment. Start pricing out what would it cost to self-insure, because
Hmm.
that's a big reason for a lot of people. It may be more or it may be less than what you think. So look into that and then budget that in. So essentially, be very realistic on what you expect out of your lifestyle and build that into your budget so that
Hmm.
you can see on paper in black and white, this is the money I need in because this is what I have going out.
And you can do that by just downloading your bank transaction history, your purchasing habit histories. You got to look back 6 months and say, how much money do I actually bring in versus how much I spend? And this is a fundamental flaw in a lot of people's finances. They don't understand where their money is going. They may make 100,000 a year, but they don't realize that they spend 102,000 a year, right? So you have to do that, and you can do that. Your bank makes it easy. Just download your statement, look at it by category and figure it out that way. And for us specifically, like we wanted to make sure that we had enough cash in the bank to cover an entire year of expenses based off of our current lifestyle. Let me say that again, an entire year of expenses in our current lifestyle. That means food, energy, bills, trash, vacation, everything. But we have saved enough money where we cover that for a year,
Mm-hmm.
so that we don't have to bring in a single dollar, and for 1 year we can live our lifestyle.
Right.
I think I made that point clear. So make sure that you decide what that means for you. For us, it was a year.
I would say at a very minimum, cover yourself for 6 months.
Hmm.
I mean, it's an extreme situation where you won't have any income coming in, but plan for the worst case scenario. Don't expect it, but plan for it.
Right.
Definitely. And then the last piece for us was the workspace. That was really big for me. Obviously, we're not completely into the garage right now with a dedicated office. It's still the eBay room in the house, but we're working on clearing it out again, and making that a spot where I can have, because Jess is still going to be here with my mom. And anyone with a small child knows if you're working in the same space with your child,
You're not
that's
working.
the least productive scenario you can imagine.
Yeah.
So that was big for me because I knew that. I didn't want her to be confused of, why is mommy home but she's not giving me any attention. I needed to sort of separate that so that it didn't blur together and I really could be productive during the time that I had to build this business.
Yeah, and that for us means that, we need a separate office, separate storage, separate processing area, and that all that is being built right now in the garage and in our basement. So when Melinda clocks in to go to work, she can exit one door, enter a different door, and be completely separated from home, even though she's only a couple of feet away. But it's that mental separation that's important too. And then when she decides to leave for whatever reason, to go do whatever, to thrift, drop stuff off, then she doesn't have to come inside the house and sit, hug the kid and so on and so forth. We're not promoting you and neglecting your kid, but if you're a parent, you understand there's a difference between working and working with a kid is not efficient.
Right, exactly. So just to summarize, we worked really hard to put ourselves in a position where we were confident in one of us completely leaving the workforce. As far as our goals, this is really going to allow us the opportunity to not only sustain our eBay at a level of income that supports our lifestyle, but also to grow it and to grow the other avenues that we really need to start focusing on to make this that multi-million-dollar company that we are striving for. That is our end goal.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like we tried it. We know it's gonna work. We are not looking back. It's now time to dedicate more time into Amazon and getting that channel revenue going. And it's just the next step in our adventure, right? This is all just steps and steps towards getting towards that end goal. So I'm really proud of you. I really am. I'm really excited, and it's just it's a great feeling. It makes it that more like okay, this is legitimate now. Like this is now like I don't need that income anymore because you can literally make probably 4 times as much during the time you're going to be spending on our business than you could have doing that job. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we are excited to see how this expands, where this takes us. So first step of many to come.
Hopefully this video gave you a little bit of encouragement. If you liked it, if it brought you some joy, hit the thumbs up for us. That would really help us tremendously. I just wanted to say thank you for watching as always.
And big thank you to those who have been watching us from the beginning as well. You stuck around with us when we were just selling a couple things, showing it off on Instagram, and now we have built this to the point where one of us is stepping into it full time. I'm gonna work really hard to streamline it for the day that Adine is able to hopefully leave his job as well.
You're watching Millionaires in the Making. That's what this is. But the nice thing is that we're not corrupt millionaires, and we're millionaires who are actually going to help a lot of people. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.